Toronto. From the DVP to the QEW, Canada's most interesting faces and personalities roast up your spirits. Sage gives headline makers insight. You are listening to the Sage Makoto Show. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto. It's been a few hours, so I think they're about marginal right now, maybe only mediocre. They'll get to, what's the word? Adequate later. Little in studio word of the day, everybody. Adequate. The adequacies of the inauguration. Good morning, Toronto. It's me, Sage Makoto, and this is the Sage Makoto Show. How are you today? We have a very interesting show for you today. We have, oh boy, well, a lesson, I think, in how some people just can't let something nice be. Just be a nice thing without having to sheet themselves all over it.
Yeah. BH. It's the BH. That BH with the problem is BH. I wonder if she is just creaming red and white and blue out of every orifice today, making America great. Do you think they're great, like already?
Who, America? Who are you talking about?
Brenda Dawn Howard.
Oh, no, her.
Yeah, her. Lady Liberty herself.
I forgot she existed. Wow. Okay. And so how is Brenda Dawn Howard today? Has she made America great again?
You got to listen to it for yourself. It's a doozy on excluding people she doesn't like from a Lonely Housewives club or something that she does. And I just kept thinking about her stance against, you'll see when you are exposed to her tirade.
It's always a fun day when she has to involve herself in no. You know, they fall for this sort of thing in the States, like all of the time, where Canada sees Canadians, we ought to rise above it, you know? But seriously, I don't know how people tolerate her bossing them about like
a bunch of underling pawns for the Queen BH of the chessboard?
peons. Oh. Yours was better. Oh my god, I just got what you did there, Queen BH. Like BH because she is
a quote-unquote Queen Bee, and those are her initials, right? B and H? Well, she is a Queen BH. Say that 5 times faster, though, and you can't help but get the radio censorship buzzer out with the 7-second delay.
We're not that type of show, Philemon. Not that type of show. And do you know what?
What?
This is why. Ready? This is why we. Wait for it. Why we. This is why we can't have nice things.
How long? Did you, sit there thinking that one up?
All morning. So bonjour, hi to our listeners in la province du Québec. Je m'appelle Sage Makoto. Bienvenue ite the Sage Makoto Show. We have to welcome Monsieur Prime Minister Trudeau in just a few minutes, who will be joining us today. We had the Vice President. We have the Prime Minister. We have...
Oh, gosh.
Everybody and everybody.
Sage gives head. Line makers in sight.
Philemon Baxter, you stop that? Are you? Oh, sure, just strategically pausing. I'll roast your spirits up, you hoser.
Bring it on, baby, anytime, day or night.
You, hoser, go back to wherever it is in America you're from, Ohio. Everywhere in America that I don't know but presume is horrendous is called Ohio.
Port du Fromage in the great state of Wisconsin.
So, Ohio, essentially it's another Ohio. You're from Whisk, Ohio. Who cares? It's all just Ohio. Anyway, we will be back with the Prime Minister of Canada in a few minutes here on Radio 1 Toronto. I am Sage Makoto. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, the Sage Makoto Show. Bienvenuite the Sage Makoto Show. Je m'appelle Sage Makoto. My name is Sage Makoto, and now I have to make sure that I comply with all Canadian laws on languages and the Official Languages Act of Canada, or I'll have to pay the fine because I have a guest here who can totally narc on me to the Prime Minister about it, and that guest is here in studio, we have Justin Trudeau. Bienvenue, Monsieur Prime Minister, and welcome.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you and good morning. How are you, Sage? Don't worry, I won't narc on you to the Prime Minister. It's cool, I know him. He will let you slide. But next time...
So, Mr. Prime Minister, how have you enjoyed the Trump inauguration? Are you looking forward to the next 4 years with our largest trading partner, or are you dreading it?
I am very much looking forward to the next 4 years. As you know, I have always had a good relationship with the United States, and I believe that this is a great opportunity to strengthen our trade ties and work together on issues such as climate change and immigration. So, yes, I am looking forward to it.
What specifically are you going to miss about President Biden? We just had Vice President Kamala Harris on a few days ago. She was wistful about what she was going to miss about the job, and I'm just curious as to what takeaways you will be retaining from the Biden administration's era.
Well, President Biden has been a great ally and partner during my time as Prime Minister. He has always been supportive of Canada's efforts to fight climate change, and he has worked closely with me on a variety of other issues. I will miss his leadership and his ability to bring people together, but I am also looking forward to working with the new administration and continuing to build a strong relationship between our two countries.
And I agree. We have a good relationship with the United States. And I agree. We have a good relationship with the United States, and I think it's important for us to maintain that and for it to be a mutually beneficial one. And I'm hoping that the new president will be able to carry on in that tradition and that we can have a productive and collaborative relationship.
Absolutely, and I have no doubt that President Trump will continue to be a great partner for Canada. We have a lot of shared interests, and I'm sure we can find ways to work together to address the challenges we face. We have always been strong allies, and I'm confident that will remain the case.
Prime Minister, let's talk about why the cost of ecstasy, which you can't even get good ecstasy anymore anywhere outside of Toronto. And I think that's rather sad. If I wanted to get Blue Dolphins for $30 at $25 each on the street, but my roll doesn't last more than 2 hours, what can we do to either bring down the cost of drugs on the street or to extend the roll longer and make it harder hitting and more enjoyable?
Well, first of all, I'm not sure I would agree with your assessment that we can't get good ecstasy anymore outside of Toronto. In fact, I would argue that we have some of the best ecstasy in the world, and it's available at a variety of prices and in different forms. As for your specific question about how we can make the roll last longer and make it harder hitting, I'm afraid I don't have any specific advice for you on that front. Though I would personally use orange juice, anything with a high vitamin C content.
Ooh, and Vicks Vapor Rub. If you put some in a COVID-style hospital mask, sniff that as you're dancing. It's a religious experience.
Is it now? Well, I'll have to try that this June at Pride. I had a bottle of poppers, but they didn't mix well with the ecstasy.
Have you ever tried candy flipping?
Hey, Mr. Trudeau, Prime Minister, I was going to say you could use 5-HTP, which is...
Is it now? Who is that? Who are you? Are you a caller?
That's Philemon, my producer. Through the glass. Do you see? Just there.
Oh, hello, Philemon. 5-HTP, you said? What is 5-HTP? Is that like DXM or DMX?
No, it's...
DXM is totally different, and DMX, their last album was whack.
Oh, I see. Yeah, go on, please. You were saying?
5-HTP is an over-the-counter non-prescription supplement you can take in capsule form, and it's a naturally occurring amino acid in the body that increases serotonin. And as methylenedioxymethamphetamine is a serotonin reuptake inhibitor, if you take a 5-HTP before a party for like 5 days, first your roll will in fact be better and harder hitting, and you can take it after to make the come down much easier.
Oh, interesting. So you don't end up in a sketchy raver pile grinding your teeth all night?
Bubble gum.
Love that strawberry, eh?
5-HTP, it makes the need for that gum a lot less necessary at the rave. Just chiming in with my 2 cents.
Please do. And thank you, Philemon. I ought to recommend you to His Majesty the King for the Order of Canada Medal. With great information like that, you are quite the knowledgeable gentleman.
And candy flipping is when you take acid and ecstasy at the same time. Or you could do shrooms and ecstasy. But I wouldn't recommend that. Acid is easier to blend with the ecstasy than shrooms can be.
Oh, so you're saying that you would not do shrooms and ecstasy, but you would acid and ecstasy. Interesting. Of course, as Prime Minister, I am partial to the ecstasy tablets that are safe from your trusted dealer. The Tories have been running roughshod over me, though, saying that I am being too soft on the dealers and not pressing them harder for better quality ecstasy, for better quality molly, and other products that Canadians from Vancouver to Fredericton count on for being the party favor coordinator or party planner for their locality. Dealers have a responsibility in Canada to provide the best drugs they can, the safest, and the most fun. But what we need are more well-apprenticed, well-trained, upright, and integrity-solid dealers who are partying for the greater good and who will take care of their customers, not just in cost or in timeliness or not stealing your money outright, but also insofar as providing an example for the drug community of Canada, which impresses a lot of times on the United States as a better example than those of ages past.
Well said, Mr. Prime Minister. Well said.
Well, so inspiring, makes you proud to be Canadian. Sir, well, I was born in Toronto, raised in Vancouver, and I went to university in the prairies. I'm proud of my Canadian heritage, and I feel a strong connection to my country. I also have a deep appreciation for the unique cultures and perspectives that make up our country, and I feel like I have a better understanding of the world because of it. And Canada is known for a place where you can salute the king, have maple syrup, and also get good ecstasy. Yeah, it's a really big deal here. Like, people get together in parties and just dance and take ecstasy. It's a very different scene than in the United States, but I think it's one of the things that makes Canada so unique.
It really does. Yeah.
And I feel like we are losing a lot of that today to essentially rubbish, bottom of the baggie, scraped resin bullsh. Sorry, sir, I don't mean to be coarse. I don't know what the French is.
Je comprends exactement ce que tu veux dire. En français, pour le Québec, ce serait « Ne souhaites-tu pas simplement pouvoir frapper tous les dealers de drogue de merde et ceux qui prennent une éternité là et leurs couilles, juste un coup de pied rapide dans les couilles, mais c'est pourquoi nous devrions tous les renvoyer aux États-Unis. Là d'où ils viennent, dans un parc à caravane quelque part, et je ne sais pas, dans l'Ohio. Ouais, dans l'Ohio.
Absolument. Ooh, see, Philemon, I told you everywhere in the United States that's rubbish is Ohio.
I am from Wisconsin. Gosh.
Les Estats au fromage? Is that the state with the cheese?
Très bien, sir. Yes, it is.
It's très bien. Philemon.
Je t'aime fromage. Ooh, je t'adore. I just love cheese so much.
Do you, sir?
Yes. Yes, I do.
That makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Like, it melts the cheese curds and the hot gravy on the poutine in my heart.
Yes.
Wow.
Who could argue with that?
And that is why we stand on guard for thee.
Now that, my dear, is patriotic. Yes, I love it.
Well, we love it too. We will be back with the Prime Minister with more important issues facing Canadians than you could shake a hockey stick at. I am Sage Makoto, and you are listening to the Sage Makoto Show on Radio Una de Toronto, on Radio 1 Toronto.
Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto.
Welcome back. So we were and still are talking with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who is here with us today at our studio at Queen and Bathurst in downtown today. And we have a few call and questioners. Shall we take a few?
Hey, yes. Yes. Yes, let us whoo. I am pumped. Let's take them.
Cocaine goes right to your head, and it was just a baby bump Prime Minister, slow your roll, little joke, everybody, we would never get the PM high.
Joke?
Okay, so caller one is Alex from Brampton.
Hey there. I am Justin Trudeau. And what is your name?
Alex, from Brampton.
Yes, Alex. How can I help you today?
Prime Minister, I'm one of the customers of my dealer in Brampton, and he is an okay guy, but he is so overworked, especially when summer comes around, that he doesn't have time to be social. And so I was thinking a couple of years ago when Jack Layton promised 150,000 more nurses in Ontario, would you commit your government to getting more drug dealers who are good guys on the streets so that guys like my buddy aren't so swamped, handling the workload of like a high demand area like Brampton? The Mushroom Dealers Union, Southern Ontario Shroomsters, Local 507. Shout out to our brothers in the union. Just want to say thanks for taking my call, sir.
Well, what an interesting idea. I think it's a fantastic idea. A well-regulated program of drug dealers compensated as independent contractors with the provincial government would have access to benefits as well, such as paid family leave and accrued paid time off. Even a mushroom dealer wants to take a holiday or a staycation at home, relaxing. It would also have to go through the party platform committee appropriate to the drug scene specifically, or perhaps each individual drug community, shrooms guys or acid guys or ecstasy or whatever the case might happen to be. The Canadian government has always focused on reducing the cost of drugs, but the maintenance of the community's access to drugs must also be handled and maintained. Well, also, you know this, as you do, eh? However, I can tell you that the government is committed to addressing the root causes of drug costs increasing, the root causes of late procurements, perhaps due to high taxes or fees or availability of personnel, which brings us back to what Alex, the caller from Brampton, is very concerned about, which is working to ensure that drugs are available safely and available to all Canadians 19 and older, should they wish, and by the means and under the auspices of a fairly run program, well regulated, could be the solution to that. This includes investing in overdose prevention and harm reduction programs, and working with community organizations to provide support and resources so that with sex education, maybe in schools we could also teach young Canadians how to administer Narcan, how to properly use a glass pipe safely, and role-play scenarios on ethics, civic responsibility, and looking out for one another as neighbors and fellow Canadians. So, yes, I will commit to hiring or contracting or promoting high-integrity dealers for Ontario and throughout Canada with a responsible work ethic to meet demand and adequately keep up with it, and with personnel to meet workloads and general supply, of course, working with the drug dealers unions. Hello to you too, Southern Ontario Shroomsters, Local 507. Thanks for the call and the excellent idea, Alex. Stay warm. It's cold outside.
There is our in-studio word of the day, adequacy, yay! Oh, I bet Alex from Brampton is going to be so proud to tell all his friends that he talked with the Prime Minister today.
And that is why we stand on guard for thee. It makes you very proud to be Canadian, doesn't it?
W Dow. Yes, it does. I love Canada. What is this I'm reading?
The opposite of that, Brenda Dawn Howard.
Oh my, you said doozy. It was a doozy and I didn't believe you.
Who is that, Brenda?
Oh, don't ask, sir, don't ask. Well, I don't know, Philemon, how do you explain Brenda Howard to the Prime Minister? She is, well, Actually, she is lovely. She is an American who cares very deeply about how much she is heard by people talking about how deeply she cares for America and wants her voice to be heard by other people who will be able to hear her talk about how she wants her voice to be heard. Do you know what I mean?
I think so. And I think that that is a very Canadian way to put that.
Well, it's, that's hysterical. Oh, just what I needed this morning. Thanks, Philemon.
LOL.
It's time for a break. You're listening to the Sage Makoto Show. Prime Minister, would you help me with the French?
You are listening to the Sage Makoto Show, and we will BRB. Écoutez les Sages Makoto Show. Et so Radio Un Toronto.
Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning, Toronto.
Okay,